Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the Amazon series Paper Girls, which is a sci-fi series that focuses on four young friends who are on a paper route and are disrupted on Hell Day 1988 when they're unknowingly time traveled to 2019, and they wind up trying to figure out what the heck is going on and wind up connecting with the older selves. And I think that's one of the most interesting dynamics of this series is the element of they get to meet their older selves, learn some lessons, and gain some perspective on the world based off of where they wind up. And I think that's an interesting proposition. I think that's a cool idea. I think there's a lot of depth that you can get out of those relationships, and they succeed with that in this series. And I think it's such an interesting coming-of-age story based off of, hey, what if you met your older self, saw what your trajectory is, and you in that moment have to learn about what transpired throughout your life and how it was shaped. And I think that's an interesting dynamic that they're able to leverage to make some intriguing drama here. And then I feel like the young cast of Cameron Jones, Riley Nillette, Sophia Rosinski, and Fina Strazza, they all do a great job together. They have great chemistry together, and I think they have a fun dynamic. This series is, for the most part, grounded science fiction. Like, there's time travel, but there's not a whole lot of big effects until the end, where I feel like it doesn't quite keep up, because then it's like there's like dinosaurs and stuff like that and some weird crap. It gets pretty broad and big in terms of its ideas towards this first season. Jason Mantzoukas is a great addition as this antagonistic presence, and they're trying to figure out how to manipulate this time element that brought them here. And I think the sci-fi elements work, even if some of the effects make this look like one of those like 90s Nickelodeon shows that makes you feel, because they were like made in Canada on really low budgets, and kind of took me out of it a little bit towards the end. I think one of the challenging things is this got canceled after its first season, and it leaves you on a pretty big cliffhanger and opens up with so many new possibilities in terms of lessons and time. And I feel like this had a lot of potential. I can guarantee you this flew under the radar. I obviously put it on my watch list, and months later got around to it well after it was canceled. But I do feel like this series does a good job of building on its concept, having good life lessons, and really riding high off of a good young cast. Now, one thing to mention, and this really isn't a criticism, it has erratic run times. It ranges from like 35 minutes to 55 minutes an episode. So like, it's all over the place based off of the story they're trying to tell. But there's some actions, there's thrills, it gets exciting, and leading up to some bigger, broader ideas. And, you know, they obviously didn't want to put in the bigger budget to go bigger for second season. They didn't even want to keep it, so they canceled it. It's a hard sell now that it's only one season, but I do think this first season was a really quality coming-of-age story with this cast and its sci-fi elements. I think it's worth a watch. You'll have to decide that for yourself. But those are my thoughts on Paper Girls. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.